Alright, so here we are. Tricks. Aquaman. Heading out to do a 38-mile or so loop into the Shining Rock Wilderness and Middle Prong Wilderness. First part's going to be on the Art Loeb Trail. Tonight we're going to do about 4 miles or so to the top of Cold Mountain. Make camp up there. Looking for the trailhead right now. Looks like we found it. Art Loeb Trail, Cold Mountain. See you on the way up. Alright, so we've been climbing for about 10 or 15 minutes now. Definitely kicking our butt. It's been a while. Alright, so we're still climbing up to Deep Gap, which is where we will split off from the Art Loeb Trail to go to the top of Cold Mountain. Climb's getting a little better. I've seen a couple groups of people so far. Not too many. Maybe we'll have the night to ourselves on the mountain. Well, we just made it up to Deep Gap. Taking a much needed break. As you can see, some people have already made camp here. Up that away is where we are planning to go tonight. Just to the top of Cold Mountain. Nice spot for a break. About 1.5 miles to go. So, as you can see, it is pretty dark in the trees right now. We made it all the way to the top of Cold Mountain and hoping to find a campsite up there. There was not one. So we're going to head back down just a little ways, back down the trail. There's a few nice campsites back here, so we're going to make camp for the night. Hopefully enjoy some stars. Hopefully the clouds don't roll in. So yeah, we finally made it to the top. It's a hard climb. And it's getting very dark, so I'm going to put my phone away. We're just getting up and moving this morning. Pretty chilly up here. It was too dark last night to film camp. Some clouds down in the valleys. Pretty nice campsite up here, just down from the peak. Saw some great stars last night and this morning. We came farther up the mountain before we started hiking this morning. Just to give you a look at what we're going to be heading into next couple days. Shining Rock in the Middle Prong Wilderness. And off to the east. Plan on doing about 13 to 15 miles today. We are walking a part of the trail called the Narrows. It's a knife edge ridge. Steep drop-offs on each side. A little viewpoint off the edge here. Still some clouds down in the valley. Trail's pretty overgrown at this point. And it's not even the middle of the summer, so I can only imagine what it would be like then. So far it's a really pretty morning, no clouds in the sky. Should be a pretty nice day. and as a matter of fact the rest of the week, so should have these all day. It'll be great. So we're sitting at Ivister Gap, taking a little break. Actually ended up getting lost at the last gap and took the low route, which isn't a huge deal. It does parallel the Art Loeb Trail that we planned on taking. But unfortunately we did miss this mountain. But I think there is better to come. Making pretty good timing today. So we're back on the Art Loeb Trail, heading up Tennant Mountain, which is up there. And then next will be Black Balsam Knob, which is up there. Finally back on the Art Loeb Trail after getting lost. We are standing on a small cliff off the Mountains to Sea Trail. We just passed the intersection where the Art Loeb Trail splits off, so we're now on the Mountains to Sea Trail only. And down. Pretty much straight down. Pretty nice view, right on top of the Blue Ridge. The Mountains to Sea Trail has been pretty muddy so far, as you can see. But I will say the Mountain Sea Trail has been fairly decent so far. Not a lot of elevation change. Terrain's a little rough at times. Well, ever since crossing into the Middle Prong Wilderness, we have got lost a few times. Trails here obviously are less used, but alas, we are on the right trail and going the right way. We also have not seen anybody on these trails yet. Well, we're just getting up and going this morning. Just got everything packed up. Ended up raining quite a bit last night, which was not expected. This is a small little view off into the Shining Rock Wilderness where we were yesterday. Still a little foggy, but hopefully the clouds clear up pretty soon. Kind of hanging out here in this little opening where there's some warmth from the sun. Within the trees it is pretty cold.
Hopefully we don't get lost today.
Yeah, yes. At the end of the day, yesterday was quite an adventure. Got lost a few times on the Mountains to Sea Trail. Ended up finding the cutoff to the Green Mountain Trail pretty easily, but then after about 10 minutes walking on that, spent about another 20 minutes trying to find the trail again, going back and forth, ended up finding it. And once we did find it, the trail is very overgrown. This trail is not walked very often. But now that we're on it, it shouldn't be too bad. It's up on the ridge, so hopefully things dry up and we'll see you down the trail. Just want to give you a little idea of what the Green Mountain Trail has been like. This is one of the better parts, but as you can see, there's really no dirt path. Just kind of some knockdown grass. It's really all we have to follow. And honestly, I'm not really sure this is the trail right here. Yeah, it looks like we might be on the trail. There we go. And we're passing through some pretty cool pine forests and then open meadows and back in and back out. It's been pretty cool so far. Definitely feels remote. A little more of the Green Mountain Trail. And yes, this is getting us very wet. At least it stopped raining. Oh. Trick's coming through the bow down, having to slide down, and this is how it's been for the past mile or so. So we have highly underestimated this trail. It has been pretty crazy the whole time. ever since Green Knob, it's just been a steep downhill, and it's pretty obvious that nobody's hiked this trail in a good while. None of these leaves have been disturbed or anything, and it's really kicking our butts. We got scratches all over our arms and legs. It's definitely not what we expected. Not going quite as fast as we planned on. Should be down to the road here before too long. Probably some of the hardest hiking I think I've ever done, honestly. I mean, I would say just the steepness and everything just kind of compares to the Whites and Maine. Not quite as rocky, but definitely steep. Slipped and fell a few times. The leaves are very wet because it rained last night. It's making for some tough hiking. Lots of blow downs, having to go over and under, like right here. But like I said, hopefully we're down to the road pretty soon and take a nice break at the bottom. Oh, we just made it down to the road off of the Green Mountain Trail. Oh my gosh, feels nice to be out here. That was a pretty steep trail, very hard, but we're going to be taking a good break down here, find somewhere to hang out, and yeah. So we just crossed a pretty good sized river. Had to actually take our shoes off to get to the next trail, which is on the other side of the river. Yeah, it took us a little while to maybe even find it, but we found a trail on the other side. What a day. So we are making our way up the Fork Mountain Trail. A little bit of a climb. Nice creek off to our left. And as you can see, the trails again, just like before, hard to find.
Very large blowdown. Very, very large.
Alright, well, we're just making it to the top of a very long climb. Up to the top of Fork Mountain. Trails have been a little easier to follow than the Middle Prong Wilderness, now that we are back in the Shining Rock Wilderness. That being said, it's still a very lightly used trail. And we should be to Birdstand Mountain very soon. We are still making our way down the Fork Mountain Trail. It's been pretty tough, but definitely not as hard as this morning. And hopefully we should be coming back to Ivester Gap before too long, which is where we were yesterday at one point, which will actually take us back to the part of the trail that we missed yesterday, where we took the wrong turn and ended up taking the low route. So we're going to go back that way, take the high route, and should make camp not too long after that. So we just finished up the Fork Mountain Trail, back to the Ivester Gap Trail, and we have decided, after this long day of crazy route finding and ups and downs and all that, that we aren't going to take the section of the Art Loeb Trail that we missed, which is only about 3 miles or so. Unfortunately, it is open ridgeline, but Not quite as cool as Tennant Mountain and Black Balsam that we went over yesterday, so we're going to go ahead and skip it, take the low route again, and make our way to camp. And tomorrow should be about a 4 to 5 mile day out, not too bad, following a creek down the valley, and that'll be that. This is where we made camp last night, next to the little east fork of the Pigeon River. We have about a few miles to do out this morning. The river is just down there, can't really see it. This is where we came from and where we'll be going. Can't wait to go get a nice hot meal. Well, we just made it back to the car after our hike. I'm going to guess somewhere between 35 and 40 miles. Sum up this hike, very difficult. It's crazy trails. But we survived. Okay, so I just want to give everyone a little bit of a rundown on the hike that we just did in the Shining Rock and Middle Prong Wilderness. This is kind of it in its entirety. We actually just parked our car up here at the Daniel Boone Boy Scout camp. Started from here, took the Art Willow Trail up to Deep Gap, and then took the spur trail to the top of Cold Mountain, which is where we camped the first night. And then the second day, we would have come down, back down to Deep Gap, and then taking the Art Willow Trail down to Shining Rock Gap, which is actually where we ended up getting turned off on the wrong trail, and took this trail out here, and then down on the Ivester Gap Trail here, just lower than the Art Willow Trail. And then we did get back on the Art Willow Trail, climbed Tennant Mountain, and around Black Balsam Knob, and this is where the Art Willow and the Mountains of Sea Trail combine. And then we get on the Mountains of Sea Trail only, following the Blue Ridge Parkway, all the way around to here. Right there is the turnoff for the Green Mountain Trail, so we followed it up this way to Green Knob, which is, we camped just before somewhere for Green Knob. Not sure exactly, but somewhere around in there. And then in the morning, woke up, did the rest of the Green Mountain Trail, which is where it's dropped steeply for a good while after Green Knob. And then we switched trails over to the Fork Mountain Trail down here at Highway 215, across the road. This is where we had to ford the river to find the trail on the other side. Then came up the Fork Mountain Trail, a long climb, and then it follows this ridgeline here, Birdstand Mountain. There weren't a lot of views from this ridgeline. Came down back to Ivester Gap, and this is towards the end of the day where we got tired, decided to take the lower route back on the Ivester Gap Trail. And then right here, instead of getting back on the Art Willow Trail, we actually came down the Little East Fork Pigeon River, actually following the Little East Fork Trail, and camped somewhere around in here our last night, just to get up in the morning, walk up the trail, back to the Daniel Boone Boy Scout camp. And like I said, I think it was somewhere around 38 miles in its entirety, not sure exactly. And that's it.